Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Computer America Show. Ben and I have Tesoro here with us in the first hour, talking about their gaming keyboards. If you're into gaming, it's a Gamer Tuesday, and they are really a kind of a cutting-edge company making some amazing products. And Tim Wang is here with us tonight. And then in the second hour, we're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show as we begin 2 hours of Computer America.
2 minutes until showtime.
Did you start the Hangouts yet?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
I said hello to everybody and hi, everybody.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, exactly.
One minute until showtime.
Ten seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Computer America Show. And that means it's Tuesday. It's our Gamer Tuesday show. Yes,
it's not the second Tuesday, but we're trying to turn more and more of our Tuesdays into Gamer Tuesdays because they're so popular, and heck, I like video games. So yeah, more Gamer Tuesdays, and this is just another one of them.
Yes, it is. And again, welcome into the program. We have a terrific show planned for you. In the second hour of the show, we're going to have computer and technology news. That's brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And in the first hour, we're going to talk to a company called Tesoro. And if you're not familiar with Tesoro, we'll make you familiar with them. They manufacture gaming devices for your computer, keyboards, mice, really some spectacular devices, and we're going to be talking to them as well. Now, if you're just joining us here in Computer America, things are, as I say, we're in flux, not capacitors, but we're in flux, a state of flux, because we're changing and modifying and upgrading things. We're moving to our third generation website as we speak. We're hoping to unveil that.
Fourth gen.
Fourth gen. Boy, they're going faster than they can count them. And We're going to be introducing that hopefully on Monday, but if not, sometime in that time frame. Our show reminder newsletter is being phased out as we speak. Although we really haven't had that talk. We really need to have that talk, especially after what Mike Miller said yesterday. I really want to give us a little more thought about that.
I don't want to put too much weight into what Michael Miller said. He's a very prolific writer, and he has great opinions, but they are just that. They are opinions. So, yes, we'll be having that talk, but we'll let you know next Monday exactly what's happening.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, of course, everything you need to know is at computeramerica.com. That will never change. It'll always be computeramerica.com, and that will take you to whatever is happening about our show. So let me just tell you, if you have a comment, question, or a suggestion for a guest, give us a call, 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. We also have email, live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. If you have a comment or question that way, and you don't want to go on the air, that's a great way to contact us. You can also join us in our live interactive chat room from our homepage at computeramerica.com. There's a button there that says interact with the show. Just click the one that says chats, live/live video. You'll get a split screen. On the left-hand side there is the form that moves you into the Computer America chat room. And it's really simple. Just put in the username. That's the name you'll be known by when you go in there. Click the connect button, and your browser will move you into the Computer America chat room. A lot of friendly people in there waiting to say hello to you. We welcome you to join us. Let's see, what else is there? Oh, yes.
Just kidding, they're sharks. They'll eat you alive in there. Be careful.
Yeah.
Don't just jump into the chat room all willy-nilly. It's scary in there.
Yeah. And then also sharing that same page is our live Computer America video streaming page. It will just start up automatically once you join us. If you join us before the show, you'll have a little countdown, but once the show begins, the video stream begins probably about a minute before we actually begin the show for a little preview or a little pre-show that we talk to you, and also when the show is over, we have little post-show activities in the video. But that live video stream is up and running because not only can you listen to the Computer America show, you can also watch the Computer America program. You can see myself, you can see Ben, you can see our guests. And the newest thing coming down the pike is now Ben his video has vastly improved. Now, not only can you see Ben in the lower left portion of the video screen, you can see the products, the websites, everything. It's now up and running. So if you can see everything when we're talking about a different product, the guest is talking about it, you'll actually see it behind Ben. Also, you'll see the current show reminder winner of the week on a scrolling banner. Just basically, just go visit us. Check out the streaming page. Check out what Ben is doing and what we're all doing here at the show. And I think you're going to be very pleased with that. So, anything else you want to mention, Ben? We got some. Oh yes, we're going to have computer news in the second hour. I didn't mention that. Anything else?
Computer news with a video game bent. So it's our Gamer Tuesday, so we're going to have most of them focusing on video games.
Yes, exactly. So, all right, well, good. Well, then, that said, let's bring our guest on. The company is called Tesoro. Tesoro is a high-tech manufacturer of gaming products such as keyboards and mice. Tesoro strives to develop the world's best gaming gear to truly improve your gaming experience. According to them, they don't follow standards; they set the new ones. Okay. Now, joining us this hour is Tim Wang. Tim is a sales specialist for Tesoro. Tim, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. Yep.
Oh yeah, no, we're doing great. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Tesoro? I know that there are a lot of companies that are big in the U.S. I know that you're attempting to move into the United States. Some people may not be familiar with what Tesoro is all about. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the company?
Well, Tesoro was actually started in about 2011, but before that, we're already into a lot of gaming peripherals like keyboards. And then our first product launch was around 2012. Actually, recently, there's a lot of popularity in RGB keyboards, and we're actually the first one to build multicolor RGB keyboard.
Mhm.
Also, we set up a few interesting standards for gaming mechanical keyboards. For example, full N-key rovers and USB. A lot of different technologies we use that other companies are now using as a standard. We also produce headsets, mouse, also mouse pads, and different other stuff. We're also looking into many other gaming things that gamers need.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I mean that market lately, especially it started getting really big around probably when you guys first were on the market, 2010, 2011. I think it really started taking off, but like it's just been growing like crazy ever since. Like, uh, when you guys jumped into this market, I mean, really, I know personally off the top of my head, maybe 4 or 5 different gaming companies, like Thermaltake, Razer, Logitech makes some good gaming stuff, like that. But there's very few people. But in your opinion, don't you think the market has just kind of grown past like the amount of people who are in it? Like, you guys are in a very good spot because you're in the market, but you're one of a few.
Yeah, I think the gaming market is definitely growing and it's growing really, really fast. There's just a lot more gamers, a lot more things for gamers to do, a lot more things for gamers to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I have to explain to Craig all the time, what the difference is between a gaming monitor and a normal monitor, a gaming mouse and a normal mouse, a gaming keyboard and a normal keyboard. Like, everyone thinks, oh, just whatever equipment you have is the best. Not always the case, though.
Right. And the keyboards that you have are, and you have a wide variety of them. We're gonna be talking about some of the newest ones, but let's talk a little bit about some of the keyboards that you have the Durandal, you've got the Durandal Ultimate, you've got the Durandal eSport, you've got the Colada series of keyboards.
Yep.
So basically you have these different families. I said you have the Durandal, you've got the Colada, you've got them. What are some of the differences between these different groupings? Like for example, the Lobera. These are all different, and you have different versions of each one. What's the general idea with that?
Well, for example, Duranto is basically our basic model. It's the first model we came up with, and it's like the classic model for Tesoro, with most of the features, LEDs and everything. If you're going to for like a very premium keyboard, like the best you can get, there's Colada. It's basically an aluminum casing keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
So the top casing is completely aluminum, and the whole keyboard is very steady. It's built to last, and it's like the best premium keyboard there is. For Lobera series is the first series that we started with RGB. So there's Lobera Supreme, which is RGB, and it's also Lobera Spectrum. It's our newest keyboard, which is single key RGB, not just a whole keyboard, but single key.
Okay.
That seems to be a growing trend. What do you think are some of the advantages of, like, other than looking, cool as hell? What are some of the advantages of having individual lighted keys that, every key can be programmed to be a different color, whichever color you want? It's not just like, 2 colors for each key. It's really any color at this point.
Well, there's different. Aesthetically, yes, there's like looking nice and stuff. But in game performance-wise, you can always set up keys. For example, if you're playing an MMO, you can set up keys for your specific skills. For example, like keys that are a lot further away from your left hand, where you have to look down and find the key. For example, 0. But then if you're able to set the color 0 to a different color than the rest of the keyboard, it'll be a lot easier to find, to save you a lot more time and give you a better performance in gaming.
Really?
Yeah,
So-
I can really see that coming in handy, and it's something that I haven't really had a chance to try out yet. I still have a non-backlit keyboard, but I guess since most gaming or some of the best gaming is done in dark rooms, that sounds like a really nice feature.
Now,
Yeah.
Now I know Ben likes the noisy keys, the ones that go click, 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 and everything, as opposed to now. Do you offer a variety of different key switches in your keyboards, Tim?
Yeah. Right now we offer in blue switch, red switch, brown switch, and black switches. Just basically the four most popular switches we offer them to most of our models.
Okay. Now the different color, you have the black, blue, yellow, and red, I guess. Now, what are the differences? Are they more difficult to press down? I mean, what are the differences between the switches?
Generally speaking, we separate it into two kinds: the tactile feedback switches and the linear feedback switches. So the tactile feedback, basically, when you press it, when at the actuation point, you actually get a physical feedback on your mouth and your fingers. So you actually feel that when the key is actually pressed down. So you don't have to press all the way down to actually for the keyboard to register the actuation point. And the linear switches, however, don't have this feature, but they have a more springy kind of feedback. So the key springs back faster, and it's a lot less noise, actually. Not noise, but less sound, less auditable feedback.
And that's a personal thing. It's obviously each person has a. I know, Ben. I think it's the louder they clack, the more you like it. I mean, this is.
No, I don't stand in the middle of a store and tell everyone to be quiet, and I hold it up to my ear and I press the key. It's like, yeah, oh yeah, this one has good acoustics. I really like this keyboard. No, I don't buy it for the audio, but back when I got this keyboard, I mean, it's mechanical keyboards. They pretty much had to have that click, and that click meant that it had a good switch in it. So, but switches lately have been improving. Like when I was looking for keyboards, they didn't have these four kinds, or at least I didn't see an option for any of these switches. It was just mechanical or just the rubber one, the non-mechanical keyboard.
The membrane, yeah, exactly. So, but now that people can choose, can they select from any model and select, or does the series connote what switches you're going to get on the keyboard? Tim, how does that work?
Basically, except for one or two models which have limited switches, most of our products have four switches to choose from. The exception is Durando eSport, which is a pretty different keyboard. It's a mixture of black and red switches. Red switches are very soft and very fast to press, and then black switches are switches similar to red, but they are harder to press. So for keys that you usually use for gaming, in Durando eSport, we put it as red switch, and keys that you don't want to mispress, we put it as black switch in the keyboard.
So the one keyboard has two different types of switches, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's the Durando eSport.
Okay. Because it's the general consensus that that's what most gamers prefer, and so you're going with that?
Well, there is some requests from it. This keyboard is actually slightly, I think it's launched around 2012 or 13, so it's an older model, but it's still very popular because, as you see from the picture here, all the red LEDs are in red switch, which are probably the most keys you're going to be pressing all the time, and the white LEDs are in black switch. For example, the Control, Shift, Tab, Spacebar, generally stuff that you're not going to be using as often. So we put it as black switch.
Okay.
So I guess someone who really isn't used to these different kinds of switches, like if they walked up to a keyboard and they tried this, to be like, oh wow, the switches behind all these keys in the middle, they're really worn out. I mean, it's just so easy to press the buttons, and all the other ones are really springy. Like, is it that kind of difference you're gonna be able to tell?
Slightly, but it's just it's not like black switch compared to red switch. That black switch you can hardly press at all. It just requires slightly more force, maybe like a 30-40% more force to press it, but it's not a huge difference between them.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to point out was, that's one thing that kind of separates a gaming keyboard and a normal keyboard, where honestly, I've had it where people come in and they'll use a keyboard that's something similar to this one, and they'll press one of the red switches, and they'll be like, "Wow, you really have to get a new keyboard. Some of these switches are you barely press them, and they press." Like it's a good thing for certain people, but it's not the right thing for everyone, which is I guess why you offer so many different kinds of switches.
Yeah, like most let's say beginners that are introduced new introduced to mechanical keyboards, usually they prefer the blue or brown switch because that's what they expect from a mechanical keyboard. So those two are pretty popular, and red switches are much more, I'm not saying better or more advanced, but it just, after usage of mechanical keyboards, a lot of players, some few players actually switch to red switches because that's the kind of switch they prefer.
Now, if you haven't tried any of these switches, I guess how do you know which keyboard to order? I mean, you can't go. Can you go into a store and try it out before you buy it? I mean, or is it a leap of faith? I mean, uh, it's sort of like buying a car and but you don't take it for a test drive. You're buying it online. How does one kind of understand or know what kind of keyboard what kind of switch to order if they've never pressed these things before, Tim?
Actually, I would say if the best is just try it out in a shop. Usually the shops will have demo of different switches. But if you're really going to buy online, it's also good to look up what other players are using. Use it as a suggestion because like majority of the players probably use, for example, let's say blue in Asia. So most people just get blue first, and then if later on they want to change or have try out different stuff, they could. But the best thing is still, I think, is just to try out the physical keyboard at the shop.
Right. Are these keyboards available in the United States? I mean, are there places that they can go to try them?
Right now, I'm not sure about the physical stores, but online you definitely can try. And I I think in US you can return after within like certain period amount of time. So I guess that's also always an option.
Okay, so right now the only way to do it is either go to a store and.
But I mean, at the same time, there's I don't want to dwell on this too long. There's also YouTube videos that show you the difference, and there's I'm sure plenty of videos discussing the differences. You can do your due research without having to order 4 different keyboards and say, oh yeah, okay, there's a difference.
Okay. Although I guess if you're really into gaming, maybe some would do that. Order 4 different keyboards.
Just jump into the red and just get used to it.
Set them back, exactly. Well, at least for now, until we can come up with another way of tactile feedback, this is probably the only way that you can check it out. Obviously, if you're into gaming, maybe you know a friend or have somebody who has a keyboard that you can try out and give it and see what it feels like. But
see, now I feel hurt because I just looked at my keys and mine have black switches in them. So of course that is the rookie one. So thank you. That's helpful.
Okay. You mean up to this moment you didn't know what kind of key switches you had on your keyboard?
No, I just popped one off. You might have, yeah. No, I just popped the switch off because you can do that with mechanical. Like that's something else that we should probably mention about mechanical keyboards is that let's face it. Have you ever seen a keyboard, like especially if you work like IT in an office building? People are disgusting. They go there, they eat potato chips, they type on their computer, they go around, they don't wash their hands, they go on their computer. Hair falls into it, dirt falls into it, it gets all waxy and gross. It's just this. Keyboards can get disgusting, but with a mechanical keyboard, pop all the keys off, wipe it down with some kind of bleach or acid or whatever you use, and it's clean. It's much more sanitary.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was saying is, yes, I just popped the key off and looked at the switch.
Okay. Now the switches themselves are not interchangeable. Am I correct on the Tesoro keyboard? In other words, you have to order it with the switches that you want. I mean, you can put different keycaps on, I assume, but you would not. But the switches themselves are soldered into the keyboard. Am I correct?
Yeah, they are soldering into the keyboard, but if you really want to change them, you could, but that would be against the warranty and stuff. But
Sure.
it's better just order the switch you like. it'll be too much trouble to actually change it by yourself.
Okay. All right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. So now the latest keyboard that you're introducing is, I believe, the Spectrum series. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about the Spectrum series and why you decided to come out with this next iteration of keyboard.
Okay. Well, firstly, it's we had a lot of feedback from our previous models, Lobera Supreme, which is a full keyboard, RGB keyboard. But people ask whether if we're going to develop a single key one or one with more options in it in the future. So we decided to come up with the Excalibur Spectrum and the Lobera Spectrum. I have one I can show you right here. Give me a second.
Yeah, love to see it.
Here, can you see it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It multiple keys, multiple colors. Ben's got it up on the website too. So if you go
No, but his is actually strobing. It's actually a very cool effect.
yeah. Oh, on the website it's
Yeah.
it's strobing on the website. The Lobera Spectrum is strobing. I'm watching it. So.
No,
yeah,
that's just your head.
Yeah, you go to the Lobera Spectrum and you'll go to.
Yeah, no. The one on the website is not, but the one that Tim just showed was, and it's very, very cool.
Yeah, if you go to the top and you click devices, and then scroll all the way to the right, you'll see the Lobera Spectrum, and you select that one.
Or just like a Tim, and it's perfect.
Exactly. All right.
Well, yeah. For these two models, we took a lot of features. We add on many features that previous models don't have. For example, we added the keyboard lock. So, for example, if you're going to be cleaning your keyboard, sometimes your setup is a bit difficult to reach, unplug everything. You can just lock the keyboard, like take off all the keycaps, wipe it down, and put the keycaps on and unlock it again. So it's a feature that I think it's very, very useful. Also, for people that maybe if you have kids or stuff like that, you don't want them to mess around your computer while you're not around. You can always lock out the keyboard.
Okay.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Now, now we're talking about the two different models. You're talking about the
Excalibur Spectrum.
Right.
And Lobera.
And the Lobera Spectrum. So now I'm looking at the Lobera Spectrum. That looks to be, I guess, the most exotic keyboard. That was the one that you held up, which has all the different features. So some of the other differences between the two models. Continue on. What are some of the other differences?
The differences between the two models. First, the Excalibur is meant to be more of a basic, all-in-one kind of keyboard. So you have everything you need, but nothing too much, too strange. So it's a very classic design. I have one here, but I don't have enough USB to plug it in. So it's like very classic design kind of keyboard. It has basically all the features that the Lobera Spectrum has, but with a lower price tag because there's the design just a lot simpler and yeah. And for the Lobera Spectrum, the extra features on it, it's like, for example, the built-in wrist rest. Also, there's a USB and audio mic jack on the back. So it provides you extra 2 USB, so you don't have to go to the back of your computer, unplug everything to, for example, just if you just want to install a flash drive or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, some computers, especially laptops and things like that, they have very limited USB ports. So having extra 2 for one that you plug into one is some value added already.
Yeah. Also, it has let's say what do you call it? An instant record key. Instant record option is available on both of the keyboards. It's a new feature that we add that we see it's not exactly available on the market. So basically, you can record macros into any keys without actually using the software. So you don't have to go into like a huge code writing to do a macro. You can just press the record key, select the key you want, type the macro, and then save. Yeah, it's pretty simple and easy to use.
So that's all in hardware. That's part of that's built into the hardware of the keyboard itself, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's also safe on the keyboard, so you can unplug the keyboard, plug in a different computer, and it still works.
Oh, that's so you don't. So it's some sort of flash memory. In other words, you don't need to. I mean, you don't need to keep electrical power to it. It'll store it in there, or is there a battery in the keyboard?
No, it's saved in the flash memory of the keyboard.
Very cool. Very cool technology. All right. I'll tell you what. We're coming to the bottom of the hour, and I want to continue on with this. In other words, I want to talk a little bit about the price range of these keyboards, and also do a little comparing to your competitors with this. And then also I want to kind of focus also on computer mice, because you make some amazing computer mice. Hey, there it is. See, there's a little Libera Spectrum. It's flashing. Okay. Exactly. All right. Again, Tim Wang is here with us. He's a sales specialist for Tesoro. You listen to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network, on the TuneIn Radio Network. We're talking to Tesoro about all of their gaming devices here on our Gamer Tuesday. And hopefully you're watching and seeing everything on our live Computer America video stream. It's one of our newest features, and we continue to enhance that here on the Computer America Show. And again, of course, contests are up in full swing. Head over to computeramerica.com and enter in our contest. We have our Logitech contest. It's a 6-week contest. All you have to do is on the contest page, we have the registration form right there, so you can enter in. You don't have to send us an email or anything different. It's right there on the home page, on the Logitech page. And click the submit button, and your entry is in. I know a lot of you are entering in tonight in the past couple of days, and so we're glad to see that and there's some great prizes. I mean, Logitech has that X300 Bluetooth speaker. We have a number of prizes for them. Head over to computeramerica.com, enter in all of our contests. They're all private, they're all free, and you'll have a lot of fun playing them. And you might win something really, really nice. Okay, we've got a news test bullet review from Marty Winston. That's coming up right after the commercial break. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Ben and I will be right back with Tim Wang from Tesoro. Stay with us.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number. 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Okay, here comes the good part. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the First Alert One-Link Wi-Fi thermostat. It starts with a digital thermostat that can be configured for almost any home's heating and cooling equipment. Next step, set up 4 day-part schedules for each day of the week. Set your desired temperature and how much leeway you want to allow before heating or cooling kicks in. That's just the starting point for the First Alert One-Link Wi-Fi thermostat. The screen is interactive and can show day, date, and your pick of photos. You can set away or vacation schedules. You can look at its past week runtimes. You still haven't used Wi-Fi, so let's go there. One choice is to configure it just to download your local forecast, which displays at the top of the screen as a temperature with a trend arrow and a probability of a precipitation with an outcome icon. You can also use their cloud service to read and control your thermostat remotely through any of several companion apps. We recommend against that, but we're not your mommy, so you choose. Bottom line, the First Alert One-Link Wi-Fi thermostat hides a very nimble control system behind a very pretty face. This is Marty Winston with the News Tips Bullet Review for Computer America.
33 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to the Computer America Show. We are talking with Tesoro right now. I'm sorry, Tesoro. And we have Tim Wang here with us, who is the sales specialist for Tesoro. And we are, just getting into the mechanical keyboards. Spent half an hour on that, which, by the way, I'm going to ask this now, but feel free to say no, Tim. If you'd like to, keep the level of detail that we're talking about the products, but if we don't get to something, or if you want to stay over into the second hour, we are just going to be doing computer technology news. So if you'd like to stay with us into the second hour to talk about, in case we don't get to your headsets or something, you're welcome to join us in the second hour.
Sure.
All right, perfect. All right, but that's 30 minutes down the road. But right now we're talking about the mechanical keyboards, and I think we went over some of your more popular ones and the features pretty well. But we were just about to get to what kind of sets your keyboards apart from your competitors, because like I said, there are a couple other big names out there in the mechanical keyboard market. What does Tesoro do that's so awesome?
For example, what sets us different from competitors is usually our competitors usually look at what is available on the market and they just build into that set piece. So they do create very good products for the current demands, but for Tesla, we look into more future demands, for example, and more options that gamers potentially could use that they haven't thought of. For example, before we came up with RGB, that was 2 years ago, and now it was really popular. Also, when we started our Duranto series, we did N-key rollover, which no one did at the time, and now it's basically an requirement for gaming keyboards. Also, we also provide a better price for the same quality, same level kind of keyboard. For example, our Lobera Spectrum, which is basically, let's say, similar to Razer's Black Widow Chroma, Corsair K70 RGB, very similar, but we're about, let's say, $20 to $30 cheaper than theirs.
Wow.
Yeah, which at this price range, you basically, for other brands, you can only get a backlit keyboard, no RGB, no functions, nothing else. Which, yeah, but if we also provide, because we understand that not all gamers are going to be spending this kind of money for a keyboard, so we also came up with the Excalibur Spectrum, which is another $20 off the Lobera Spectrum, which gives the basically Spectrum features and all the features that, let's say, macros, onboard memories, instant record, stuff like that for the gamers. And that one's Excalibur Spectrum, I think I'm expecting around $129, $139 in USA at the moment.
All right.
And you know, as a Tesoro sales specialist, I kind of want to see if you agree with this, because it seems like sometimes when you talk about gamers and people who are willing, like you kind of get this. You kind of get this feeling that gamers will spend as much money as it takes to get the best equipment they can, so they can be the best, competitive gamer that they can be. Which, I mean, it sounds like a good thing, but I think at the same time, a lot of gamers are looking for the best value, because they know how to go, they know how to use the internet, they know how to do their research, and they are looking for, the best product for their money. Like, are you seeing that, where, not necessarily is the most popular thing always the most expensive thing?
Yes, I think it's the point that, of course, people that can afford it, all the keyboards, I think sometimes they just want to get the most out of their money. If you can buy a keyboard with the same features for, let's say, $50, $60 less, why not? It's just an we provide that option for gamers. So it doesn't have to be like they want an RGB keyboard. They have to spend 100 to up to almost $200 on a keyboard. They can just spend something around over 100, 120, 130, which is, I think it's a good range to have for gamers to choose.
All right. Okay. We got a caller. Has a question for you, Tim.
Sure.
And where is 989? I
don't know. We'll figure it out later.
All right. Anyway, Computer America, Craig Crossman. Hey, caller. What's your question?
My question is that I enjoy gaming, but I would not consider myself good at it. And one of my biggest problems is that standard mice have big hands, and I can never find a gaming mouse that has the buttons, that really suit a man of larger hands. So is there a mouse that you make that you can customize the spacing between the buttons?
Not really, not at the moment, but I think that's a good idea we can look into in the future. However, on the topic of mice, even if you want a bigger mice, we do have the Gun Diva mouse, which is a lot wider than the regular mouse, and I think you can give that a look if this is big enough for you.
Now, which one are you suggesting for him?
Okay.
Which one?
This one here. The one shows right. Yeah, Gun Diva.
Yeah, Gun Diva.
Oh, the Gandiva. Okay. I don't know if you're watching, but he's got it up on our screen. The Gandiva. This is a very.
Sorry, I muted the live video.
That's okay. That's
No problem.
Okay, that's fine.
That's right. Okay, that's fine. But it's called the Gandiva, and when you hang up, you can take a look at that. Listen, does the caller get a commission? If you use his idea.
Well, we can think about that.
Exactly. Caller, any other questions for our guest?
No. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, thank you. All right, have a good
Thank
one.
you.
All right,
Thank you.
347-884-8881. 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. Go ahead, Ben.
I think there was one other mouse that was similar to what he's looking for. Like, I can't remember off the top of my head which mouse it was, but it let you kind of swap out the like if you look here on the video, it has the Gandiva, and like it let you swap out the part where you rest your hand, the left and right mouse button. Like it kind of let you switch out pieces to either bigger pieces or smaller pieces. Kind of let you customize the size of the mouse, which I can't remember which one that was though. So it's something very similar, but it's his question about mouse key spacing is obviously very unique, but hey, some people need that.
It looks when you look at the Gandiva, it almost looks like it's like when I look at that, I think of a transformer that's going to expand or kind of collapse. It looks like it has all the hinges to grow or shrink down. Sort of expandable, but Very cool looking mouse. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim. You wanted to say?
Oh no, I'm just saying. Probably, I think it's the question about this buttons. I think it's more on the thumb keys on the side where a lot of gaming mouse that add too much buttons on the side, and then it becomes really hard to identify each buttons. But then we were looking into making a MMO mouse, and with a very different spacing than the typical gaming mouse you see of a 6 key or 9 key on the side. But that's a future project, but it should be coming up pretty soon.
What makes a mouse an MMO mouse? Okay,
Well, yeah. Generally speaking, MMO mouse usually have a lot more buttons on them to press. Except the regular right and left, they usually have 2 more buttons on the thumb keys, on the left click. Also about 6 to 9 more keys on the side for your thumbs to press in.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe I showed you one, Craig, and you know, my personal favorite, and honestly, I can't wait for you guys to come out with one. Hopefully, it comes out soon. Like the first one really was like the Razer, not the Black Widow's a keyboard. It's like the Razer some other mouse, and it had a set of 12, like 1 through 12 on the side of the mouse. And when I first saw it, I was like, no one's ever going to need 17 keys on a mouse. That's just ridiculous. But after I used it, the extra keys really do come in handy.
Yeah, and that's a lot of key. That is a lot of keys. How many keys do you when you're playing your games? I mean, how many keys do you use on yours, Ben?
Oh, mine? Oh, only about 11.
11. Okay. All right. Well, there it is.
And also I've seen some benefit for accountants too, because I've seen them also use that one because the number pad on the side also works as a number input. So they'll be chugging away at cells on an Excel spreadsheet, and you could just do 1, 2, 3, 4 all on your mouse. You don't have to reach over to your keyboard.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So basically, now I understand Tesoro is going to be attending Computex, okay, which is one of the largest computing shows that are out there. Are you going to be showing any kind of new products out at the booth there? Are you going to be unveiling anything there, Tim?
Yeah. There's going to be keyboard-wise. There's going to be two new keyboards. And other than keyboards, because before we focused a lot on keyboards, and there's only a few mouse and headsets that's available. But this year we're going to be focusing a lot more on mouse and headsets. In Computex, there should be at least 5 new mouses available to look at, and around 2 or 3 new headsets available.
So let's talk a little bit about the headsets from Tesoro. What kind of headsets do you offer? We've talked about keyboards and mice, so let's talk a little bit about the headsets. I say.
Well, right now we have 2 headsets. There's Cuvane, the regular Cuvane, and the Cuvane Pro. The regular Cuvane is 2.0 virtual 7.1 headset. It also comes with a USB sound card, so we don't really have to prepare extra sound card. You have the option to use USB or use the 3.5 sound jacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm looking at your headset. The microphone into which you're speaking is glowing purple. Looks like.
Yes.
Cool looking.
Yeah. The one I'm wearing right now is the Cuvane Pro. It's a real 5.1 headset. So basically, the headset is good for, let's say, FPS games where you need to distinguish where the noise is coming from, which is very useful. And also, this headset also comes with like real protein earmuffs, which is really, really nice. My old headsets kind of flatten out after half a year, but these ones I've been using for almost a year now, and they still feel like new ones.
That's nice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and also the Coven Pros come with like a, let's say, tuner kind of thing.
hmm
I don't know if you can see it here. Here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can ignore the cable. I kind of lost my old cable, so I have to get an extra one. But yeah, so basically you can adjust the channels of the sound, the volume of different channels. For example, you want more sound, you want more front sound, you want more bass. You can adjust those, and also provides like a quick mute and silence option for you, so you don't doing gaming. For example, let's say if you're going to be scream at your roommate, you want to mute your mic, you can mute it straight away without exiting the game and do all kind of stuff.
Yeah, you gotta tell your mom what's for dinner, and you don't want all your friends, hearing that. That's very important. But yeah, just to kind of focus in on the whole gaming thing, like the first time I ever used a headset that was meant for gaming, and like I've always been using like for the longest time, mainly on for Xbox, I was just using the store-bought standard $10 thing. Not very good. And then like I got an actual professional grade gaming headset. You hear things, and this is mainly for the gamers out there. You hear things that you would never hear otherwise. Like you hear someone walking on the other side of a map. Like I'm talking like Call of Duty, Halo, that kind of thing. It's borderline cheating the amount of difference a good headset makes.
In other words, you can hear things to anticipate.
You hear things that other people won't because they don't have your kind of gear.
Yeah, personally, before I was playing Battlefield 4, and I was pretty bad at it. I'm still pretty bad at it, but it does improve a lot, especially on the fact that you can hear sounds that coming from specific directions, not just the loudness of the sound. You can hear it, and I say, okay, this guy's on the behind me on the right. I can tell because of the sound, which is like you said, it's sort of cheating, but it does give you an advantage. It helps you out a bit, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very nice. Like I don't want anyone leaving here saying, oh, I have this really good, $20 Logitech headsets. They work just fine. It's like, oh no, they're fine for listening to music, but when you're playing video games, you're gonna tell, with most gaming products, there's gonna be a very real difference between a normal piece of equipment and a piece of equipment meant for gaming.
Right. And most companies that do things, and you mentioned Logitech, I mean, most of them, not all, but some of them do have a different division for their headsets. They have a gaming headset division, where they make, which obviously they're more costly, but they have those additional abilities that that gamers can take advantage of when they wear them. So that's very important. So now you have two versions of the headsets. Tell us a little bit about costs. What are the we haven't talked about price of any of these things. Let's go back to the let's start with the headsets. What are the two headsets cost, Tim?
For the regular Couvain, I believe it's around 79 or 89.
Okay.
The Couvain Pro, however, is around 109 or 119, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
All right. And then the mice. Talk about the mice. What are some of the different costs for those?
The mice for the Gandiva is about 49, 59, and the other models is around 39 to 49 range.
All right. And then the keyboard. Keyboards. Talk a little bit about the cost of the different keyboards.
The keyboards, actually, the range is a lot wider. The basic models, like for example, basic Duranto or the basic Excalibur would be 79 to 89, depending on region. However, the higher ends, let's say like Colada, would be around 169, 179, 169, yes. But there will be a new version coming out, so.
Okay.
And by the way, about the Colada, the keys that are those plastic, and then like the case of the keyboard is aluminum, or is everything aluminum?
We in the beginning we were actually designing to make the whole keyboard aluminum, including the keycaps and stuff. But then the price range of the keyboard would be around like $300, $400 US, because I think 4 of the aluminum keycaps cost around, let's say, $20 to $30, and there's 109 keys. So yes, the price of the keyboard will go up way too much and will be unaffordable to. Well, not unaffordable, but it's too much.
It's good that you thought of it, but I think at the same time you can't go around, saying, "Oh yeah, it's $400." No one's going to buy that. So it's good that you thought of it, but I think the plastic was definitely the way to go.
Yeah, and also we consider about the how gamers are used to actually plastic keycaps, but these are really really good plastic. They're like basically they don't wear out a lot, unlike a lot of the keycaps where you use after 1 year, 2 years the letters just wear off. These last a lot longer. But the thing is, when we decided to use the PBT keycaps instead of the aluminum keycaps, is that we provide a cheaper keyboard, but then the users has to choose to actually change the keycaps to aluminum or metal keycaps if they want to, because you can't change the casing of the keyboard to aluminum on your own, but keycaps, however, you can do that.
Let me ask you this just quickly here. I know we're coming to the end of the hour, but I understand that Tesoro is mainly focused on mechanical gaming keyboards.
Yes.
But do you plan to stay in that category, or are you going to have other products that you might, kind of expand on that?
Right now, like I said before, for Computex, we'll be showing about 5 new gaming mouses, which I can say most of them are really, really good. I've seen the mock-up samples, and they're amazing. I'm probably planning to buy just a dozen just to ship out to my friends, just to give it to them, because it's just really nice mouses. Also, 2 new headsets. These headsets are very good. Like, for example, the Couvain. Well, we have problem with the Couvain is that it's not very classic. Some people cannot accept the fact of the very rectangular shape earmuffs. So we're also coming up with a round one instead. Outside gaming, though, we did consider actually, because we make really good mechanical keyboards, and another use for mechanical keyboards is industrial. So we are considering into the industrial market for mechanical keyboards.
Yeah. Okay. So these are some of the future plans for Tesoro. I mean, what are your plans for the United States? You have any?
Right now, for game show-wise, computer shows, we're going to focus on PAX. So PAX South, PAX East, PAX Prime. Also, we're focusing a lot on LAN parties, so we can support gamers on the events. Also, we will be doing some charity events, since I think it's a really good thing to do. It's kind of like feedback to the community, the gaming community. So we're planning some charity events in the future. Also, for US, we'll be launching an online shop on our own. So it will be like more direct sales, so more options to choose directly from. This should be available in around next month or 2 months.
Okay. All right. So you are making some moves in the U.S. That's good.
Yeah.
I think you really have some very competitive and interesting products, and I certainly would like to see more of that here in the U.S. Well, Tim, what can I say? It was enjoyable having you here on the show, and certainly
Thank you.
You make some very pleasing eye candy kind of.
And whoever is naming these things, they need to keep doing what they're doing. I really like how all of your products are named for different armor and weapons of Mythos and things like that.
They're definitely on the right track. Tim, listen again. Thank you so much for being here. Again, if you want to see the Tesoro website, it's Tesorotech, TESOROTEC.com, or just go to our website. Go to our show notes page at ComputerAmerica.com. You'll see today's show in the first hour, and we actually have a link to the Tesoro website. Just click on the Tesoro name, and it will take you to the Tesoro website, and you can check out all of it for yourself. And that's right there up at our website at Computer America, just under the show notes page. Tim, thanks so much for being with us here tonight on the program.
Yes, thank you for inviting me as well.
And we'll have you back again. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, Tim. Have a good
Have a
evening.
good night.
Good night.
Yeah, have a good night.
Bye-bye. All
Bye-bye.
right. There you go. All right, there you go. Tesoro. Tesoro. TESOROTEC.com is the website, and you can check it out for yourself at computeramerica.com under our new show notes page, brand new show notes page. We have it there, and you can see it on tonight's show. All right, coming up in the second hour, we're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. We got some interesting stories coming up here, like for example, let's see, we've got this one here from what is it? Oh, Valve CEO talking about the internet cost you $1 million in just a couple of days.
That's a controversy we haven't talked about on the show yet. It pretty much came and went before we had a chance to talk about it, but we're going to talk about the fallout and everything that happened with Valve trying to implement a system to let modders for computer games, to let modders earn a living using their skills, and how that made everyone on the internet lose their minds.
Right.
So.
And then what about a bullet that will actually swerve to correct its course?
Yeah, that one wasn't gaming, but it seemed so creepy that I couldn't not put it in.
It's a self-steering bullet. This is not for a game, folks.
Yeah, no, that was for real life.
Real ammunition. These are real bullets that can actually improve your accuracy because it will self-correct itself. That's beyond freaky. Some of the stories that we're going to be talking to. Also, a haptic gloves that use air pressure to simulate the feel of virtual objects. So in other words, the object isn't there, but the glove will let you feel it, even though you're not really touching anything. These are all some of the stories coming up on the Computer America Show in hour 2. So, as I said, you're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network, on the TuneIn Radio Network. You can see all of them on our networks at computeramerica.com. Ben and I will be back with these stories and more as we do computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Also, another new news tips bulletin review by Marty Winston. Really cool stuff. Ben and I will be right back with another hour of the Computer America Show. Don't go anywhere.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
Very interesting. Tesoro on the first hour, Tesoro Tech, talking about their...
I think of all the gaming companies I can think of out there that make equipment, for the price that you get, I think they're probably the most competitive out there in terms of pricing for the gear. Because there are others that are more well known, but you're going to pay a little bit bigger price tag for the name brand. But I think these guys that they offer good products at a more affordable price. Admittedly, you're not going to walk out of there with with $15 and say, "Oh, I got so much equipment." It's not that kind of thing, but for the gear that you're getting, definitely competitive price-wise.
Very, very cool.
And cool looking stuff. I mean, the color strobing keyboards.
Yeah,
awesome looking.
That is very, very nice, and you can see them in action at the Tesoro Tech website. Again, just go to ComputerAmerica.com. We have the link right there on our show notes page. Okay, well, anything else, or I guess we're ready to do some computer news. We've got a lot of interesting stories coming up.
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Tonight's Computer and Technology News is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free. That's right. Everything at slimwareutilities.com is completely free. Really. No kidding. Download them all. Why not? They're free. And they'll always be free. You don't pay for them later on. They're all completely free, and they truly do clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system. Keep them, have them standing by when you need them. You'll be happy that you did, and you'll thank us for it. Slimwareutilities.com. And in this first news story, this is from Wired. This looks really cool. You know, look, I mean, we've got GPS, we've got navigators. You've got what? You've got a Garmin in your car, Ben. I've got a TomTom, and then we have with your iPhones.
Yeah, and then there's countless upon countless apps out there just for your smartphone alone that turn it into a GPS unit.
Yeah, having a dedicated GPS unit in your car, they got to step up their game, because smartphones are really, can do most everything which you would see in a one that you stick on your dashboard, or
it's hard to justify a standalone product that you're going to pay potentially over $100 or about $100 when the thing you have in your pocket already can do it.
And it does it with voice navigation, turn by turn directions, extremely accurate, so they have to step up the game. So evidently, according to this story, holograms could bring video game like navigation to your car. Now this is actually kind of cool. What they're saying is that this company is, in other words, if you want to keep your eyes on the road, because right now, even with you can listen to the voice commands and everything on your navigation device, your smartphone or whatever your dedicated one, but having a heads-up display to navigate would be really cool, and using a holographic kind of display, which would literally overlay itself onto the road on which you're driving, would be very, very cool. And now, this is one of the latest devices. It's something called the Navion from a Swiss firm called Wayray. Okay. Now, evidently, it's still in prototype for the time, but it promises to project holographic imagery onto the windshield from a small device sitting on the dashboard. So this is not built into your car. I mean, this is something you could add.
There's not a little man painting these drawings on your windshield.
No. Although, I have to say, I rent a car from time to time, and having the navigation built into the car, I guess, is really, there's good things and bad things about it. The good things about it is that it is fully integrated into the car, and will take advantage of any of the electronic devices in your automobile. In many cases, it'll incorporate it right into the dashboard. They're very nice. The only downside to those is that as the years go by, they become stale. Whereas if you have, one that you buy for your car or something, you can always replace it or get a newer model, or with your smartphone, that all gets updated. With your car, the navigation system, I would say eventually, after maybe having it for 3-4 years, starts to feel its age. And I've seen that happen time and time again. Just experienced it. But this is really cool because, again, it's not built into the car, but basically it will project the images onto your windshield using a holographic display. And now, the only thing that the objection by this author who's talking about it, he says the company says the device responds to hand gestures for control. Okay.
Wait, it responds, or it only operates by hand gestures?
Well, they're saying the device here. The article says the part where the company says the device responds to hand gestures for control. While some automakers have talked about this kind of feature, there's little evidence it's ready for the market. Okay. The consumers have close to no interest in waving their hands to control their vehicles. So,
well, I mean, it makes sense. Like when you're, maybe if you're like, you raise your hand up, and if you're watching the video, it's like, you go straight, and then we're gonna take our third right, and then like you kind of motion right. Like that might make a little bit of sense, but I think ideally there should be more of like a GPS or some kind of navigation built into the car, and then it would kind of lay it out on the windshield automatically, so you don't have to use gesture controls to control it. It would just automatically be programmed to uh, put the proper images up on the screen without you having to control it all the time.
yeah. But still, now still this has not hit the market, and if it ever will hit the market, but according to the author, he says, minus that little thing about waving your hands, he says if it works, it could be fantastically useful. I mean, I'm just looking at the screen and see how this works. I think it's actually quite amazing. I think it's the most intuitive. I mean, most navigators now have the display, so it points in the direction of the car. I remember years ago, navigation would only point north and south, and no matter what the direction of your car, and I found that to be very confusing. And then they started adding the feature where whatever direction you're driving, the display would reflect the front of your car, which I found better. And then from the 2D to the 3D displays, which makes it even, rather than looking at a bird's eye view, you now actually see it from the street view. So that's how these products have evolved. Although it's interesting to know that most all of them will go back to the 2D display, even though they have the 3D displays. I'm not sure exactly why, but they will. But I think for the most part, having something like this on your windshield would be the least distracting. I mean, you're looking at the road.
It's pretty much as close to built-in as you can get, because hopefully, and really they have a picture here from a video game for obviously Forza Horizon 2, and if you've ever played a Forza game, they have those green arrows kind of spread out in front of you, and of course it's just for a video game, and it kind of makes sense, and it kind of tells you, hey, say to the left side of the road, and then swing wide and come back in. It gives you not only stay in your lane, it gives you the best way that you can kind of drive on the road to get the best time. So this thing could do the exact same thing, where it wouldn't just show you how to stay in your lane, it would show you where to merge, how soon to merge, where to go. It would be it wouldn't just be turn coming up on your right. It would have maybe if you're in the left lane, it would show you it'll show you to start merging, and then you can go. It would show you a lot more information than just a simple GPS unit nowadays.
Yeah. And of course, if you're watching a live video stream, Bennett actually has the articles that we're doing on the news, so you can see the images and pictures that we're talking about. Pictures worth 1,000 words. Just take a look at that, and you'll understand how very cool this could possibly be.
Yep. It's let's hope it takes off, because HUDs have been in every video game since the past, I'll say 20 years. Mm-hmm. They are such a cool piece of technology. Let's hope it starts taking off, because I want one in my car.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
All right. Well, yeah. We'll save this whole paid subscription thing from Valve that made everyone so mad. We'll save that for a little bit later. I guess right now instead we're going to go to how about this one, where it no, we won't do that one. How about the haptic gloves? Yes. Craig teased that one a little bit. This one from Popular Science. Dan Moore in here, where we're getting this from. This was actually posted yesterday. And yeah, so they use the haptic gloves to use air pressure to simulate the feel of virtual objects. Obviously, virtual reality is making a lot of splash in the media. We've talked about it a lot of times. A lot of different companies have been talking about, virtual reality. It's coming soon. The Oculus Rift. PlayStation, I believe, has one coming out. There are many ways to, there are many companies that are working on virtual reality. But even when virtual reality the headsets are working at their finest, at the end of the day, most people are still using either a keyboard and mouse, or they're using a controller, like a console controller, to control the games personally. And that's nice, because you kind of get the visual sensation that you're looking at a virtual reality game. You get the virtual sensations, but at the same time, you don't get any of the feedback. You don't get to actually swing your sword. You don't actually get to, throw the ball. You don't actually get to cast a spell. It's just all in the controller. And I think that's, we've had some other solutions like the Kinect and the PlayStation PlayStick or something like that. It's the one with the wand. There
Yep.
are other solutions, but at the end of the day, most keep coming back to the controller. This one though, it's called the Hands Omni Gloves, where they're going to be using these gloves to simulate actual objects. So let's say you're playing Skyrim, and you're walking around and you see a vase, and you feel like picking the vase up and throwing it at the nice shopkeeper. You can these air pressure gloves, they'll be using little bladders, like I say right there in the article. They'll be using little bladders to inflate at certain times to mimic. So like your hands will be there, and let's say you pick something up. If the object would normally apply pressure to your palm, your forefinger, and your pinky, it would inflate those sections with air, which would then give you the false sensation of actually touching something. Really all the glove has to do is simulate the pressure of the object to the pressure on your hand, which it could very easily do. So they haven't, the team here hasn't directly divulged what exactly they want to do with this, but they're saying that they want to translate it to objects in games, and the devices does allow the fingertip bladder to be inflated and deflated independently, allowing the gloves to create a different feel depending on the object that's being interacted with. So, it's obviously not very heavy. It'd be pretty easy to use. They have a video here if you ever wanted to go check it out. But it's just another piece of the puzzle that has to fall into place before you get the really, really cool virtual reality experiences, because it's not just your eyes. The eyes is a huge part. It tricks your brain into thinking what's happening. It really gets you into the experience. But if you're still holding the controller and you have stuff to A, B, X, Y, that's going to take you out of it. So these gloves, they're working on them.
Yeah, I remember my first virtual reality. The technology was called force feedback, and I'm going a number of years ago back. But I remember when I was driving a car, on a racing game, and you had the steering wheel and everything, and when you hit the wall or something, the steering would force itself back just like you had impacted the wall, and it was very, very cool. That was my first introduction to this virtual feedback, rather than just the static, gaming controller. Force feedback. I don't know if it's still in business now, but
I know that Game Boys and the N64 Nintendo products, they came with things called rumble packs.
Oh yeah,
where you get hit, and then slap in 15 AA batteries. You get hit by something, and then bam, the rumble pack would vibrate, and it gave you the sensation that that it gave you a little bit of a haptic feedback.
Yeah.
So they've been trying this for a while, and it's definitely something that's continuing to evolve.
Yeah, but as you said, it would eat through batteries. I remember, after for a while the batteries. It went more for rumble pack. You had to put more batteries into the thing. So and it was very general. I mean, it wasn't exactly how it would be. It was just sort of like those seats you go into theaters now. And you can watch a movie, and when some vibrations happen, you feel it in your seat. I think it's the same thing.
I'm not a fan of those.
Yeah, I'm not either. I just found that supposedly they're running through a forest and everything, and you're supposed to feel it in the chair.
Like I got to sit in one because I was watching some new movie that just came out, and it was not a very good one, but I went to go see it anyways. And like in my local theater, they call them D-Box.
Yeah, D-Box. That's it. Yeah.
D-Box. They call them D-Box, and you sit down in it, and it would, kind of lean you left and right. It would, kind of give you vibrations. It would, it would. I guess if you're watching like a horror movie, it would give you just that little bit more scare because your seat would suddenly jerk back on you or stuff like that. And I sat down in it, I tried it, and I was just like, and like honestly, I was focusing too much on the chair to really enjoy the movie. It was not my favorite movie experience.
No, it was very distracting. It was too much. It wasn't very accurate. It was just the vibration would be on, the vibration would be off, and vibration. It was just really not indicative of what you were watching on the screen. So I didn't particularly enjoy that either. They still have them out there. I don't go see them. All right, so this next story I teased it as well. This is again from Popular Science. DARPA's magic bullet swerves to correct its course. Good news for America's snipers, bad news for other snipers, I guess it is. But basically, they created a self-steering bullet. Okay. They call it the Extremely Accurate Tasked Ordnance, or Exacto.
And while you're explaining what's going on, I'm actually going to be looping the video of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I mean, it like when I first saw this thing's creepy. Like it's not just cool, it's creepy.
Yeah, it is. It's creepy. So basically, if you can see the video here, the video itself looks sort of like an obscure home console video game from the mid-1980s, where players kind of trace out a path to a robot, which then runs away, and then tracked on screen are the projected path of the bullet and then the actual flight path of the Exacto bullet. Okay. And basically it kind of bends and turns its trajectory to follow a sideways sprinting target. So over several shots, Exacto improves the aim of both the experts and the novices. And they were demonstrating this with a 50 caliber bullet each time. And if you want to take the sport out of hunting,
But like at this point, you don't even have to be accurate. You can just be in the general vicinity of a deer. Because really, imagine like this thing. You would never go hunting a deer with a 50 cal, but imagine going hunting with a with some kind of software loaded into your bullet, not just your gun, not just your sight, but your bullet. That would then let you kind of just kind of line it up, and then you pull the trigger, and then no matter which way it runs, no matter if it runs left, right, straight, it would track it down and hit it every time.
Yeah.
Assuming there's a clear line of sight, obviously, but I'm talking about tracking bullets that move to hit their target. It's creepy.
Yeah, they're talking about you can't shoot around corners, bullets. Well, this is the beginning of something like that.
Yes and no. Like obviously these bullets are going to redirect their path minutely to track a target, but I mean they're bullets. They have velocity. They can only go one direction. There's momentum. You can't break the laws of physics. Like a bullet is not going to turn a 180 because like you shoot it at a car, it misses the car and does like a 180 and comes around and shoots the car in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's still a bullet, but any course correction on a bullet is unheard of.
Yeah. So anyway, this is obviously not publicly available, and probably will only show up in the military or law enforcement. They talk about something called the XM25, which is a new infantry weapon designed to get around cover, and that gun costs over $25,000, which is cheap for military customers, but really pricey for consumers.
Well, hey, I mean, if you really want to get that turkey that's sitting behind that boulder,
yeah, use an Exacto bullet on it.
I mean, turkey at the store costs what, $2.38 a pound?
Exactly.
$25,000 might be a lifelong investment.
Yeah, exactly. You get all the turkeys you want. Exactly.
And in the video there, they actually showed the differences between a whatever defines a professional sharpshooter and a novice, first-time user of both, of the same gun. and it doesn't matter. Like really, there was not a difference in accuracy when testing between someone who's done it before and is very very good at it, and someone who has never picked up the gun before and is trying it for the first time. So you could hand this to someone who is not accurate. You could hand it to your mother-in-law who is just awful with a gun, and she too could go hunting and actually hit something.
Yeah, really, which is scary unto itself. Okay.
Yeah, and the people in chat room are right. I personally do hope that this never does reach civilian uses.
No, jeez.
This DARPA is, of course, funded by the Department of Defense. So a lot of what they do is aimed at future technology, things like that, and not really meant for future civilian life. But it just seems too powerful. If there, I know like we have nukes, but at the same time, this seems too creepy.
Nukes are blanket coverage. This is like pinpoint accuracy.
I know, but like it seems silly to me to say that this is too powerful. Like if you were playing a video game, this would be cheating. This would be hacking. You just hack the system. But I don't know.
Well,
It's cool. We reported on it. Let's hope we never see it happen in real life.
there you go. All right. I don't know if you know about this. There was a doctor in New York who basically completed.
Oh wait, you're doing 2 swords in a row?
Oh, am I doing 2? Oh, I thought. Oh, okay. All right. You're right. You're right. Sorry. You go ahead and do a story.
All right. Well, let's get into the Steam one because we haven't reported it yet on the show. We haven't reported about it because it happened on Friday. The kerfuffle happened over the weekend, and then the retraction and the damage control happened yesterday and today.
Okay.
So what happened on Friday was Steam, along with Bethesda. Bethesda is the production company behind Skyrim. Skyrim, hugely successful. They have probably one of, if not the most vibrant aftermarket modding community. For anyone who doesn't know, modding a computer game is really what separates a console game from a computer game, and that lets you go into the system files and change them willy-nilly as you see fit. And you get things that are silly, you get things that are beautiful, you get things that were never intended. Really, it kind of turns any game you have into a playground. Like you'll get so much more life out of it. And then with these mods, you could then have mod packs, install them, and then let others see your work. So like if you wanted to change all the dragons into ponies in Skyrim, and then you had flying ponies who breathe fire and destroy towns, like you could do that. Or if you wanted to be covered in giant fluorescent glowing armor, you could do that. You could do whatever you wanted. So that's what modding is. And Skyrim had one of the best communities around it. So Steam and Bethesda, and Valve, of course, makes Steam. Steam and Bethesda thought it'd be a good idea to introduce it with Skyrim, this new system of paid mods.
Okay.
And their reasoning behind it, notice the hand quotes, their reasoning behind it was that they wanted to let modders who are pouring their time and energy into this potentially earn a living off of what they're doing. It kind of lets them, lets the community vote with their dollars. It lets the community support the people making these. It's, all in all, it's just a way to get money, give money to those who kind of, deserve it.
Okay.
Sounds nice on the face of it, right? Now, Craig, if you were going to implement a system like this where you've, let's take Bethesda, they've developed the game, they put the hours into making the game, and then they've already released it, and this is a couple years after the release. Like, they're honestly, they're not making much more money from the actual game.
Right.
So, and then Steam and Valve, they're the ones who are just providing the platform for the discussion and the purchasing of the game, and and just really facilitating the community. If you are developing something like this, how much of the money should go to the developer of the mod, and how much should go to the company supporting the community and the company who made the game in the first place? Like, what do you think the ratio should be?
All right. Well, you have how many players you have? You have the people who are doing the modding. You have the company who made the game, and you have, what was the third one?
The people who made the game, the person who made the mod, and then the person who was facilitating the whole thing, which would be Steam in this case.
Okay. Well, I think the person who makes the mod should put all the work into the mod. I think should make the lion's share there. I think they should make the most money because they're putting most of the effort into it. And so I would say, 50% to the modder, and then 25%, let's say, to the other two.
Yep, that is pretty lenient, I think, on what most of the people thought thought it should be.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad to see your reasoning, because your reasoning, I think, is what a lot of people on the internet have also agreed with.
Mm-hmm.
What happened, and here's where people got all in a tiffy. I don't know. Well, the modders who spent all the time working on these mods and doing all this kind of thing, they got 25% of any purchase of the mod. And then I think the other 75% broke down to something like it was like 40% for Bethesda, who made the game in the first place, and then 35% to Steam, who hosted the community.
No.
With the with what was left over goes to the modder. So let's say you sell your mod for $4, you get $1. Those two get $3 split between them.
That's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. No.
Yep. And obviously we're not going to finish this in the next 2 minutes, but just want to say that's where Friday started off. They announced it, they launched it with the best of intentions, quote unquote, which really it was goes against Steam's reputation of being a real for the people, for the community platform, and letting people do and say what they want. But this was seen blatantly as a way to make money off the masses, make money where really there was no reason to make money. Like this, they had a thriving community, and within a day, like, the internet was a swarm with hate mail, and just lots of other stuff. We'll continue on the other side and wrap up how it was resolved yesterday and today. It has been resolved.
Did Gabe Newell get involved with it?
Gabe Newell got involved. He had to have an emergency AMA on Reddit. He had to have an emergency damage control.
I've always looked at him as a good guy, so I'm curious to see what.
So did the rest of the internet.
All right, this is the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, the IRN Radio Network, the TuneIn Radio Network. Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review. It's all coming up. Stay with us. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering, or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
It's what you've been waiting for. Hi, it's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the VTech cordless phone kit with AV doorbell. Now, when you're waiting for a package to arrive, how often do you check to see if it's there yet? How about packages waiting to be picked up? A dog on site may raise a ruckus, but you may endure more interruptions from those false positives than from checking the door now and again. If there is somebody at the door, is it simple delivery with no harm done if you wait a moment or two before responding? Or is there somebody at the door you need to get up and see right now? We put out an editorial call for video doorbells and got in a VTech IS7121 cordless phone system with 2 cordless DECT 6 handsets, an answering system in the base with a very welcome on-off switch, and an audio-video doorbell. The doorbell box has a button and a tone sounder plus a camera with a simple aim setting control, plus 2 infrared emitters for seeing in the dark. If you don't want to run power wiring to it, then we didn't. You can use a pair of AA cells, and it doesn't draw on those until somebody pushes the doorbell button. It grabs an immediate snapshot while sounding a doorbell tone. You get to choose one from a menu on each handset. Shows you the snapshot on the handset and gives you the option of a live 2-way audio, 1-way video intercom feed. The handsets are also nicely featured with talking caller ID, an equalization choice, and a strong set of contemporary convenience features. Bottom line, the VTech 2-handset cordless phone answering system with AV doorbell earns a sitting ovation. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. 34 minutes past the hour here. And thank you, Marty Winston, yet again, for that News Tip Bulletin Review. You'll be hearing that one all week long. Yeah. And we're doing computer and technology news with a gaming bent, thanks to Slimmer Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And right now, we were just getting into this whole, thing here with Bethesda and Valve and their fall from grace, all that kind of thing. And
I met Gabe Newell is only getting involved.
Gabe Newell, he's not getting the best out of this either. And kind of to show the community's outrage at this kind of thing, just to give you an idea, I think Skyrim came out about 3 years ago, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And it was rated 98%, like 98% positive by Thursday. Okay. Mm-hmm. After they implemented this and they were trying to fleece the modding community of their money, Skyrim went from 98% positively reviewed 3 years ago. Normally, when games are out that long, like whatever rating is shown on the internet, that's the rating that they get. After all this happened, the Skyrim went from 98% to 92% positive rating. It went from being the 4th highest reviewed game of all time to being somewhere around the 500 mark and dropping.
Wow.
People were not happy in the least with their decision. So, and as to kind of the quote saying, Gabe Newell came out to say that his idea was a bad one. I think it was sometime today where, he made probably in the neighborhood of $10,000, something like that, over the course of the first couple days. And in response to that, people were spamming Valve with tickets. Why would you do this? They were sending them emails. Don't do this. They were sending them feedback. Hey, stop doing that. Yeah. They were sending them all these kind of things. Apparently, the stress on their servers were costing them over $1 million.
Yeah.
and that's not even counting the loss to their image, their credibility, and their favor, because really Gabe Newell has an almost legendary god tier status among video gamers.
So why did he just do it in a retraction?
He did.
All right.
He came on. Well, first he came on. I think it was Saturday, or maybe Sunday. He came on, sometime this weekend to do an emergency AMA, to explain himself to the people why we did this. He answered just a couple of the softball questions, and he gave some pretty weak answers. Like I was saying earlier, they want to let mods be supported by the community. They want, people to have, to give them money, that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, everyone kind of saw through what it was. It was a way to earn yet another dollar from a modding community that was otherwise flourishing and established.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like they saw this community and they said, hey, we made the game, you make the platform, we can make money off this. And they tried. And I believe it was Monday. I'm trying to find the exact quote here. But yeah, on Monday he said that, or at least Gabe Newell publicly acknowledged that they have quote-unquote pissed off the internet, and they've since retracted the entire scheme, because it was only for Skyrim. Like it was like the pilot launch was for Skyrim, and then they were going to release it for other games later.
But they shouldn't have retracted it. What they should have done is just, because it's obvious that they hit a hot button here. What they should have done, instead of saying, okay, well, we're just going to shut it down, they should have just redone the numbers and say, we're going to give the modders, 90% or something like that, and we're just going to, and we're just going to.
But modders really don't even want a system like that in place.
Oh.
Or especially not those numbers, but in general, they really don't want a system like that in place, because right now, if you want it, okay, let's also get into the modder, who does the work gets 25% of the cut. Let's say you piggyback off of someone else's work, just like in the Linux community, or whether file sharing. Let's say you borrow some of the files from another modder. How is that money appropriated? Like, do you have to go in and count what percentage of your mod is based on other people's mods, and then do you have to give them the money? What if someone pays for a mod and then they discontinue it? Can you ask for a refund? What if you pay for a mod and then they don't deliver, or it's a scam? Who has to refund you your money?
So you're saying
there are a ton of legal things that go along with paid mods, because before it was free, it was open, you could do whatever you want. If it was a good mod, perfect, enjoy it. If it was a bad mod, delete it, never use it again. There was no repercussion.
So you're saying that it opened up a can of worms and basically just shut the whole thing down. So
because they had no answers for those. The only answer they had was, it's a work in progress. Okay. They didn't even try to answer those. They just saw the money and they went for a quick grab.
Got it. So maybe it was a good move then, just to shut it down, because now and it goes back to the way it was before.
Yeah, it goes back to the way it was before. Yeah. I think what they should have, what they, or at least what the modding community has in place now, they have everything open and free. It's you can't lock down your files. If you put it out there for other people to use, it's your hard work. Your name gets attached to it, as best you can attach your name to it. But at the same time, it's not your game. It's not your community. You're just doing this for fun, for a hobby. It's your passion. You do what you want with it. And then others can use that, or they don't. That's like kind of their thing. And then if somehow money wants to be traded hands, if people want to support their modders, they have something called donate buttons through PayPal or through other donation platforms. You can give people money for their work without having to make it official and jump through other hoops. And then especially at the end of the day, they get 25% of their intended donation.
All right.
So it hit this whole thing. They took it out. They said, okay, we did this too soon. It was implemented horribly, and we're sorry. And again, this was just tarnishing the reputation of not only Bethesda, but of Valve, of course, and Steam, their entire platform, calling into question a lot of things. I mean, people were losing their minds over this. So, but you know, I think to an extent, though, justifiably, they were justifiably ticked off.
Well, speaking of lost minds, I think we have a caller here. So let's see what he has to say. Computer America, Craig Crossman. Hey, caller, what's up?
Hi. Yeah, not only did they botch this, but I think it goes to show, just how badly they pulled the numbers out of their rear end. If you look at Skyrim, and like I said, it's been out for 3 or 4 years, to even be able to mod your game, which means that it means that you've already bought the game from the company. So they've already, extracted their blood money from you. So why are they getting still 40%? I mean, I know that they have rights to the original work and all of that, but I mean, every player that uses this mod has bought their $60 game. So why 40%? How do you get that number? Like, why isn't it 25% to them and give the extra to the modders who are adding to the content that the creator no longer is? And I think that just goes to show the greed of Steam and Valve with it.
They didn't have a good answer to that exact question, which is one of the reasons why they just kind of threw up their hands and said, "All right, we were wrong. We take it back." Like they should have thought better about the numbers, because the numbers obviously made them mad, but then they weren't thinking about all the ramifications that goes with monetizing mods. That goes along with, like, this was thought out in pretty much in no capacity, it seems.
Yeah. There are modding communities within Skyrim that I'm currently aware of, that you can buy certain mods. You can pay for them. I mean, they are out there. It's just that Steam has a monopoly on the entire market when it comes to distributing gaming software. And to say, I mean, and I kind of agree with you and disagree with you when you said about with the mod, if it's bad, you can just get rid of it, yada yada yada. But a system's already in place within Steam where everything can be reviewed. So, a bunch of people say, okay, I tried this game, I tried this mod, this wasn't very good. I gave it a low star. This is why. The system still holds intact, and people could still, the modders could still make profit while working on better, quality improvement.
Yeah, well, I don't think I disagree with you on that. I think it's just, what if there's a mod out there that was released yesterday, and then, let's say because someone released one where you add one extra apple to Skyrim, and if you've ever played Skyrim, one extra apple is like adding one extra pixel to a game. Like it's literally nothing, and that mod costs $99.95 to purchase. So, like, if you accidentally bought that one, who would have to refund your money? Who's there to answer to? There are, it's just one of those questions that, yes, you can give it a 1-star review, but sometimes things just need quality control besides.
Yeah, but Steam does have quality control in certain areas, with the green light products and all of that, where if something is deemed unsavory or fraudulent, where it's not actually producing what was promised, they will remove it. I mean, yes, for the people who bought it ahead of time, they would be hurt, but that goes for any product and anything you buy anywhere. I mean, if you buy something and it's not what it was to your expectations, I mean, in some cases you can return it, in other cases you can't.
Yep, and luckily, I will say that Valve and Steam, they did shut the whole program down, and then they returned all the transactions to the people who first made them. So if you purchased any kind of pay for mod, they returned your money in full. So luckily they were classy enough to do that, but I think the whole thing was just too hairy.
Okay, caller. Thank you for your input.
Yeah.
And And thank you, and keep listening, of course. All right, bye-bye. All right, 347-884-8881 is the number.
But like honestly, we're doing computer technology news. We we're bouncing off the board here. If you want to give us a call and bring up something else or talk about something different, feel free to. We don't mind deviating.
No, we're an open forum, and we like that. We are open source, open forum here on the Computer America Show.
Change the topic or chime in on the one we're talking about.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to us.
Yeah, 347-884-8881. So we're finished with that story. I wanted to bring up this Time Warner. Normally, when you hear Time Warner cable, you get, oh, now what are they doing? What are they doing now? But this one seems to be actually a good story. It's very short and sweet. But evidently, Time Warner Cable's Xbox One app now streams live TV. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So evidently, their Time Warner Cable, I don't know if you know, has an Xbox One app, and they just became much more. It just became much more useful because they've added live streaming for up to 300 channels, so you don't have to miss out on a show when you're at a friend's place, or you can't hook up cable in your gaming den. There are still 8,000 free and subscription-based on-demand shows too, so you'll usually have something to watch. You grab the free app today if you're hoping to get a little more mileage out of your TV package. And they just made it available today, so for those of you who have that, now you can watch some live TV and on demand.
This is just another step in the direction of a la carte programming.
Yep.
It's definitely a trend that continues to be growing, thankfully, as a cord cutter myself. You can't cut the internet cord, but I think every day, and especially with announcements like this, the ability to cut the cable cord is getting easier and easier. It's the internet is such a varied and wide place for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's getting hard to justify the costs of $100 for cable when you could just be just as entertained and get the same programming or get different programming thanks to Netflix and Hulu and things like that for a ton less money. It's a good thing to see.
Absolutely. So there you go, an actual positive story for Time Warner Cable here on the program. So we have a few stories left. Which one do you want to do? It's your turn.
Oh, which one do I want to do? Okay, well, keeping the game theme, we're going to talk about this one right here. This one is from Engadget, and apparently 4 of the best Star Wars games just landed on Steam.
Oh,
yes.
cool.
Oh, Steam.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so X-Wing and TIE Fighter, I believe I played TIE Fighter in an arcade. Like they had like one of the stand-up arcade machines for TIE Fighter. But yeah, no, they have a picture here, which is of course a video of TIE Fighter gameplay, and it looks like it's running on DOS.
Yeah.
Which it probably was. So, but yeah, if you feel like playing these old games on modern PCs, there weren't really a lot of good ways to do it. So, in comes Star Wars X-Wing, TIE Fighter, X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter, and X-Wing Alliance. All 4 of those games, if you remember them back on their DOS-based original Windows releases, they're all now up on Steam. And they normally cost about $10 each, or $30 as a bundle, but there's a promo that will knock 10% of the price off if you pick it up before, let's see, May 7th.
Yep.
Yeah, no. Apparently, this is a nice little trend that seems to be happening where some of the old games that you may remember, that you may idolize, they're finding ways onto modern distribution platforms because, hey, let's face it, these things are tiny in compared to a modern day game, and personally, I can't really justify $10 for this kind of game, but it can't be too hard to get these small little games up there if you want to buy them.
Yeah, no. They have these little nostalgic feel. But if you weren't around when these things came out, this is like a new game. you know, if you're young enough. Hey, look, they got some new stuff, and of course, it's just in the advent of the new Star Wars movie coming out. So.
Oh, like say what you want about Disney, the the hype that they're doing for Star Wars is incredible. Like people are so excited for this next generation of Star Wars. I'm sure they were excited back in 2001 when when Episode 1 was being made, but I really am getting a much more excited sense from people about Star Wars Episode 7.
Well, Star Wars is a multi-generational venue. I mean, it
started in 78, right?
Started in the 70s, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 78.
78. And so you have how many generations now? You probably have 3 generations with the families, and then the latest one's discovering the original movies and kind of catching up so they can understand this is the last of the trilogy and understand what's really going on.
77, my bad. But yeah, no, the first 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, and then now 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
That is a long time to tell a story, but I don't think anyone's gotten tired of it.
No, not at all. And again, as I say, as new generations come to the Star Wars mythos and pick it up, they and see it for the first time, they just get just as enthusiastic about it. So, and here we are. How many generations are we?
Oh, 78, and now it's going into 15. So that's like almost 40 years.
40 years. That's
probably by the time I'm sorry, 77. I keep saying 70. 77. So probably by 2017 they'll have episode 9 out. Hopefully, that'll be 40 years on the 40-year anniversary. They'll have episode 9.
Wow. And then it comes to an end. It comes to an end. Hopefully, George Lucas hopefully will still be alive.
Oh, in 2 years, he's looking pretty healthy. I have no doubt he's going to make it.
Yeah.
But one cute little thing that I did see. Do you remember the second trailer that came out for the Star Wars?
Yes.
And they were flying through the remains of the Death Star.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like the giant engines. If you zoom in, and this is the little Easter egg, if you zoom in, it's only there for like 2 or 3 frames. But in the sand, you see 2 gentlemen holding a giant comb in the sand.
Really?
And they're combing for the droids. If you don't remember, that is a reference to Spaceballs.
Oh gosh, son of a gun!
When they're like, look, it's like comb the area for the droids, and then they're taking that giant comb and they're combing the sand. In just like 2 or 3 frames, you can barely see it, but yeah, it's 2 people combing this. Like they're also doing really really good references, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome.
So this is a movie that you're actually going to go see then?
I might wait for a DVD, but yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Like it's hard for me to get excited about movies because like Skyfall was on Netflix for the longest time, and it's about to go off, and I still have zero urge to go see that, even though it would take me 3 clicks to go watch it.
Skyfall. That's the James Bond.
James Bond.
Yeah. You haven't seen Skyfall? Really?
I haven't seen it. It's 3 clicks away, and I honestly like, and I've heard good things. It's just I have no interest.
Good movie. Well, your last movie was Chappie, and that's only we went because you took a date.
That one still makes me mad.
Okay, so and you're not going to see the Avengers or the Age of Ultron?
I'll probably go. Like the first Avengers, I didn't see it until it came out on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably do the second one as well.
So have you seen the? Was it the Winter Soldier? That was the latest one.
No, I have not seen that one.
Okay, that's not on that's not out on Netflix yet.
No, and that's Captain America. Although I hear they're coming out with a new Captain America movie.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
They just started filming. The actor, I forget his name, the actor who plays him just sent out a tweet a couple days ago. Yes, we're reporting out a tweet right now. Just sent out a tweet a couple days ago talking about how he misses his beard, but he has to go film the movie, so he had to shave his beard.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I don't think we have time to do any more stories. I think we're pretty much out of time there. But looking at some of the chat room.
Yeah, everyone seems to like Skyfall, or at least quite a few people seem to like Skyfall. So,
well, he liked Casino Royale, which was it. I was poking fun at him. I said with Peter Sellers, that was an old James Bond. It was like a comedy spoof, probably before his time. He probably has no idea of the reference. But anyway,
yes, the new Captain America: Civil Wars. That's the new movie coming out.
Yeah, it still amazes me how they can make that guy, the actor. I'm blocking his name too. Look puny, it was just absolutely amazing how they do that. I don't know how they do that. It's got to be some sort of software, sort of like Lola, makes people younger.
Yeah, let's say they can make Patrick Stewart look young.
Yeah, they can do
Why
that.
can't they make someone look not buff?
They made Patrick Stewart and Gandalf both look young in that X-Men opening pre-show. So they can't. So they.
I don't think his name is Gandalf, but but I'm currently blocking his name too.
Yeah, I know. It's we're having one of those moments. But I think the original movie with Daniel Craig was it's basically was a reboot of the James Bond, where you get to see how he becomes 007, and I have enjoyed the Daniel Craig, because the ones with the previous, I mean, they were enjoyable, but they were too formula. He was too pretty, Where with Daniel Craig, he's more like the Sean Connery.
Wait, did you say Pierce Brosnan was too pretty?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now that's a generational thing, because I grew up with GoldenEye, and like Pierce Brosnan will always be my James Bond. Like that'll be the James Bond for me and my generation.
Yeah, and then the one before that,
90 seconds.
the Saint played the Saint in the TV series. So again, we're having a terrible time remembering names. Anyway,
like for some people, James Bond will always be Sean Connery. Newer generation, they'll be Daniel Craig. Everyone has their different James Bonds.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Hey, coming up tomorrow night, we've got who do we got? We've got Intronus is going to be on the program. They're going to be talking about backups and how important it is.
60 seconds.
And for consumers and businesses of all size, they're going to be on the show in the first hour. And then Dick DiBartolo is going to be here, the Giz Wiz, Mad Magazine's maddest writer. He's going to talk about all kinds of gadgets, including assorted Star Wars goodies that are be coming out. The one-wheel motorized skateboard with one wheel. It's motorized. We're going to talk about the Lenovo ThinkPad Stack, Zoomies, and the Professional Phantom 3 drone. Also, the amazing Clio invisible speaker. It's really invisible. It's amazing technology. So he'll be joining us in hour 2, and hopefully you will be too. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman, hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night, everyone.
Seconds. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, again, thank you all for watching the show tonight and our Gamer Tuesday. And Ben and I will see you tomorrow night. So have a good one. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.